I'm going to give you a quick overview of the Joplin Paragraph Extractor plugin. The way this plugin works is it's designed to be similar to what Logseq does with blocks. And in Joplin, what I am considering blocks here are paragraphs. And paragraphs are separated basically by two carriage returns. So if in this particular note you see a number of paragraphs, I have a header, a paragraph, header, paragraph, etc. If I go to Markdown mode, you can take a look and see that a paragraph really is something that is separated by two carriage returns. And the goal of this extractor is to be able to pull these paragraphs out across various notes based on hashtags or keywords. So you can use any kind of hashtag, any kind of keyword within the paragraph or at the end of the paragraph or at the beginning of the paragraph, and that will be extracted out. This can be very useful for things like projects where you're gathering a lot of random information and you just want to tag it for later, and then you can use the extractor to pull that information across hundreds of notes. You could use it for meetings. So if you're in a meeting and you're collecting information and some to-dos, you can put hashtags and or keywords on those collection of things that you have in a meeting, and across multiple meetings you could pull information out, like all the to-dos or all the information. We'll show examples of that. And lastly, maybe a journal. In a journal, you're collecting random thoughts and ideas, and some things are things to investigate later, or things I want to do now, or things I have on my to-do list. And each of those could have tagged information. All right, let's just take a look at the basic functionality of the extractor. I have three notes here, that are all talking specifically about stars. And let's just say I want to extract all the paragraphs in those three notes that have the word stars in it. I could use the Tools menu and just choose Extract Paragraphs from Notes. You'll get a dialog box. You can see I already typed in the word stars here. I don't have a tag. A tag means like a hashtag symbol. And I'm just going to say I just want the paragraphs that have the word stars in those three notes. So let's hit OK. And what you'll see will happen is a new note is created called Extracted Paragraphs. And you'll see the titles of these notes of where these paragraphs were extracted from. So you can see here the discovery of white dwarf stars, Sirius A characteristics, solar EM radiation. All three had paragraphs that had the word stars in it. And you can see just those paragraphs. So if you look at Sirius A characteristics here, let's go back to the original note. You can see it had all these different paragraphs, but it just pulled specifically the one called A is classified as a type AM star. So if we go back here, that was this particular one. And this is the only paragraph that had the word stars in it. Now, if you go back to the extracted note itself, you can see a couple things. One is the link back to the original note. These are actual link backs, so I can basically just click back to the original note in the titles that are extracted. Also, you'll see down below all of the tags that were in the original notes. So all of the tags that were in these three original notes, along with the keyword, so the keyword was stars, are extracted and added to the extracted paragraphs note. And that's the basic functionality. Now there's a lot more you can do with this plugin. Let's take a look specifically at the options within the plugin itself. So if you come down to the paragraph extractor plugin options, a few things you'll see here. One is preserve source note titles with backlinks. That's what I showed just earlier, where you can click on the title and get back to your note. You could also embed these at the end if you wanted to. So this would, rather than have the title in the note itself, each paragraph at the very end would have a link back to the specific note it came from. Bullets we're going to talk about in a little bit when we do a specific example. Let's just leave that for now. You can include also the header of the paragraph extracted. For example, each of those paragraphs had headers above it, so those headers can be pulled as well along with the paragraph. This default last used character, prefix character, is the hashtag itself. You can use like a hash symbol, or you could use a % or a $sign. Your hashtag is up to you. And the last keyword that you entered. Then you can also remove the keyword to an end tag. So for example, if you are actually using a hashtag like hashtag stars, that hashtag stars will actually be pulled from the paragraph and added to the end so that you don't have the hashtags embedded into your paragraphs anymore. Then you have some options with the title of the note that is extracted. The default is just the word extracted paragraphs, but you can also choose the first marked note, the last marked note, or a custom note title. And that custom note title can actually be the tag keyword you typed in. So the title of the extracted would look like that. Or you could have it be first title, last title. You could have put date in there, whatever you'd like for a custom title. You could just put something like this, say keyword, and then it's just going to have that keyword embedded into the title. So let's do an actual example. Let's say I'm working on a project, and in this project I'm collecting information from various sources, from YouTube videos, from articles, from papers, notes I have, and they're specific to a project I'm working on. Say I'm working on a project on stars, and I'm not interested in all the information, but as I go through it, I'm like, well, there are certain paragraphs that I am interested in. So in this case, I'm interested in this particular paragraph down below. So I've put a hashtag project on that paragraph right at the very end. That's one I want to extract. In another note, you can see I have it on this particular diagram. And on the next note, I think down below here, we see it here. There's a bullet that has project on it. And I only want to extract those things. So let's just highlight those three notes and say extract paragraphs. I'll add the hashtag. I'll change this to project. And now I can just click that, and my extracted paragraphs are only going to be those ones that had that hashtag. And you can see here, there's the hashtag in the paragraph. I got the diagram. I got another paragraph on the second note, and on the third note, it pulled all of the bullets. So that's something I'm going to call out later, that bulleted notes in and of themselves are not paragraphs. All of the bullets are one paragraph, but you can see it pulled that all out. Now let's do the same thing where I change a couple of the parameters in the plugin itself. So I'll go to the options, we'll go to paragraph extractor. Let's use embed the source note title at the end of each paragraph. And let's only extract at the bulleted list item level. So I was talking about those bullets. All bulleted lists in Joplin are just one paragraph when you have bullets together. So we're only going to extract the bullet in this case. So let's apply that. Let's go back. Again, we'll just highlight those three notes. We'll extract the paragraphs. And if you notice, it saves the last keyword you had worked on, so that's useful. And we will extract that. And now you can see those titles are missing, the link backs. The link backs are now at the end of every paragraph, so I can go get back to that particular note from the end of the paragraph. And in this case, you can see it only pulled the bullets that were highlighted with that hashtag. And one thing to note with bullets, if you have sub bullets, it's going to pull the sub and the parent. So any parent and sub bullets that you have with a hashtag are going to be pulled together when you're pulling bullets out. Let's just change a couple more parameters. Let's go back to some of the settings, and let's say, okay, I don't want to call it extracted paragraphs anymore. I want it to be my project name. And let's extract the actual keyword and put it at the end. And let's change this to a custom note title, and we'll say project 123 dash, and we'll keep the keyword there, the tag keyword. We'll save that, apply that, go back. Now we'll pick those three again, and we'll extract the paragraphs, same project. You can see the new title, project 123. There's my actual keyword. And now a couple things happened. It extracted the actual hashtag out of these paragraphs and put it at the end, and also changed the title. Let's use another example. I use the journal plugin a lot, and I find this journal plugin very useful. So you can see here I created some fake journal entries out of an AI tool, and I'm going to use this as an example. You can see I have the 4 different days of journal entries, and this is a pretend expedition of the Grand Canyon geology and paleontology. And you can see in each day some of the observations they had and some tasks that came out of every day. So this would be the similar thing for you. Like if you're gathering information as you're doing a daily journal, maybe you find something of interest, you can just tag it. Something of interest, or something to do later, or pending, or whatever you want. So let's use this example. Say I want to extract just the tasks or the to-dos that came out of these daily journal entries. And you notice that I actually placed the hashtag to-dos right at the end of those list of things that I want to do as tasks. So I've changed a few of the settings, but let's do this. Let's highlight those journal entries, and let's select the keyword to-dos that I had put on all those tasks. and we will extract those. And you can see I have the extraction with each of the dates of where those to-dos came from at the end. So I can just click back. Those are just clickable links back. Go back to the original note where those to-dos came from, those tasks. But I have them all collected. So I could have hundreds of journal entries and collect all of the to-dos out of these over and over again, and they would all have link backs to those notes. Another thing you could do, you can see here I have tag specific bullets within this. So let's go to the tools and let's make sure that the plugin has extracted the bulleted list level. We'll apply that, come back. Oops, it's still called to-dos, so let's change that title. I don't want to call it to-dos anymore. We'll actually call this, let's just call this important. Good enough. All right, we're going to pull out here. I see we have paleo, so let's pull out the word paleo out of these 4 days because that had some specific information about paleontology. We're going to pull that out. Important. And now you see all the bullets that had the word paleo as a tag. And now I can collect that together and put that into a report or whatever I need to do. I don't even have to have the link backs. I could just use the notes specifically. All right, in my last example, I'm going to take meeting notes. So either at your job or you're in a meeting, I took the AI-generated geological research project that had the journal entries, and I had to create some notes for me. So you can see here, here's some meeting notes. We have attendees, we have an agenda, we have some meeting notes here, research trip overview, we have some key findings, some challenges encountered. We have next steps on future research, budget review, and we definitely have some action items that came out of this, some to-dos, and at the end, just when the next meeting is going to be scheduled. So pretty standard meeting notes that you'd find anywhere. And maybe, I collect a lot of these over time, and I need to know everything that has, for example, Dr. Sarah Chen in a note, or I need to know everything that is a reminder, like someone mentioned something in the meeting that says, hey, that's a reminder, I should keep that in mind. So I put a hashtag on this particular bullet saying reminders, things like that. So let's make a couple changes in the plugin. We'll go down to the plugin settings. I want to put those source note titles back at the top. I'm going to remove the embeds, and let's include any headers that are in there. We'll extract at the bulleted list level because we have a lot of bullets in my note. And let's call this September meeting notes. Okay, we'll apply that, come back. Okay, we're going to extract anything that we say is reminders. So let's do that. So we'll come to this, extract paragraphs from notes, and we want reminders. You can see my September meeting notes comes out, and it looks like I had a few reminders in there. So I just had in number 2, see the heading came out, so the headings were extracted along with the specific bullet points that had some reminders, like Mr. Harper expressed interest in this finding, suggesting it could lead to a separate focus study, so I want to remember that. And here's one about understanding erosion rates. I have a reminder about that. And here's another one about a follow-up trip. So I wanted to make sure that I had those reminders available to me. I could do the same thing with the to-dos. So let's just say I want to grab those to-dos. Let's go to extract paragraphs. I won't make any changes in the plugin setting right now. So we'll do to-dos, hit OK. And you can see I have my action items. I pulled out the header, which I had selected. It has a link back to the original note, the meeting notes, and it has all the to-dos. And if I had multiple meeting notes, you would have all the to-dos here extracted. So one last thing I didn't point out was a special feature in that you could put a tag at the very end of a note and the entire note gets extracted. So for example, if I go back to those original project notes and I come down here and I say, well, I have project right here, but I'm going to take that out. Let's cut that out, and I'm actually going to put the note down at the very end here. So if my hashtag is at the very end of the entire note and I'm searching for that tag, it's going to pull the entire note for me. So let's make sure my options are set right. We'll go to the paragraph extractor. We'll preserve the titles. We won't be doing bullets. We'll just be doing general case here. And let's apply that. I think, whoops, we have our meeting notes. We don't want that. We'll just go back to extracted paragraphs. apply it, come back. And now I want to just take project again. I'll do this, extract paragraphs from notes, say project. And now the entire note has been pulled for me along with the other ones. So you can see I don't have to worry about if I find that something of use across the entire thing. I don't have to tag every single paragraph, which makes this more useful. So that's the paragraph extractor in a nutshell. I hope that gave you some more information and some deeper view of how this thing really works and how you can pull information out. I will be adding more features to this over time, but for now, this is the feature function set that is available to you, and this will continue to evolve as Joplin evolves. I am working on trying to make this a mobile plugin. There are some considerations there, a lot of work to modify this into the work on the mobile app, but for the desktop, it's working for now. So I hope you enjoy it and have a great day.